Now, some of you sent me more celebs, specifically more rappers that I have yet to feature on this series. So why not? Today we're reacting to even more rappers and their fragrances on GQ's hit YouTube series, 10 Things I Can't Live Without. Again, my name is Manny, aka CascadeScents. Welcome to the channel. Buckle up, this one may get a little rocky, so roll intro, roll video.
So my next essential is something I actually got into when I became Fetty Wap. I wasn't really into like the perfumes or like the smell good things. As long as I had like some good Irish Spring soap, I was good. So.
Firstly, we have Diamond certified rapper and recording artist Fetty Wap, and here he has a scent that may totally be a deep cut for you, and that's Kurkdjian Jump Up and Kiss Me Hedonistic. Now, not to be confused with Ecstatic, Hedonistic is the masculine counterpart of the Jump Up and Kiss Me name, and was released as a part of the Addictive Arts limited edition collection way back in 2017. Fast forward a few years, the Jump Up and Kiss Me's then re-released in the new 50 ml bottles in 2021, so just know that Fetty has the OG style and discontinued 75 ml limited edition bottle and box. Also, there's nothing wrong with Fetty or you walking around smelling like Irish Spring if you want to project that way, but I personally think that Hedonistic is a total upgrade, especially if you like to get noticed, which I will get into in a sec.
This right here is one of my favorites, Kurkdjian, and you can tell like I use this shit. This is not. It comes with me everywhere, you can see.
Alright, not knocking Fetty for using the box as a carrying case, but yeah, it makes sense since he would have been on the road a lot when he was actually recording and performing, I'd imagine. No, I cannot throw up the seemingly obligatory free Fetty Wap. If you're in the know, if you know, you know, just saying. But at least my man was smelling like a boss here prior at least, as Hedonistic has a very fruity opening, most made unique by that black cherry, which is very dark, very rich, very decadent. I love this stuff. Like, it feels like you can see red if you actually smell the stuff. It's that picturesque. Just very tasty overall, also supported by really warm masculine notes like tobacco, leather, amber, vanilla, that sort of thing. And you also have a bit of bitter mate tea in the background to prevent this thing from going too gourmand. But nonetheless, Hedonistic is still very hedonistic, very decadent scent when it is projecting in the air, and it can definitely hold its own in a sea of Baccarat Rouge 540s, Aventuses, stuff like that. And I personally have first-hand experience of this, or rather someone at work does who is a client of ours. This is his signature scent. It's how I learned about this scent. And trust me, if you're looking for a scent that kind of walks into the room before you do, this is it, because this man would literally be peeling around the corner, and I know that it's this gentleman who's walking by or about to walk by once I catch a whiff of this awesome scent. So yeah, unfortunately for me, I dig it that much that I'll probably have to buy it. And I say unfortunately because it's not cheap, with it being a Kurkdjian and all. More on the price later.
I'm not into like the alcohol-based perfumes or cologne, whatever you want to call it. It's like lays on the skin instead of like sinks in it.
Ah, Fetty, no, we got some mixing up here. Firstly, Hedonistic, just like most modern day fragrances, is an alcohol-based fragrance. And alcohol is used in perfumery to help lift the fragrance oils off of you into the air, allowing you to project more beautifully and effectively. But in spite of that, it's not like aspects of that fragrance won't linger off of you on your skin. So when this thing is done projecting with that alcohol in the air, if you want a little bit more of that resonant skin scent vibe from some of these sweeter notes in a scent like Hedonistic, you'll definitely get it. So hours in, feel free to put your arm or hand up to your nose, get a nice skin scent waft of that dark cherry, that vanilla, that leather, that amber. It's just gonna be amazing.
Well, I don't like strong things. Like I like the kind of cool and what's that? I like those. So yeah, shout out to Kurkdjian. You lit, bro.
Oh gosh, we got more conflation station by way of Fetty Wap here. Because if my man is saying he does not like strong scents, he probably just means he doesn't like not pleasant ones. And we know this because Hedonistic is very strong. This thing is closer to nuclear than average when it comes to projection. And I mentioned with that dark cherry and all those warm notes, it's definitely very pleasant. So probably when it comes to the more fecal ouds out there, or maybe stuff that comes off as unpleasantly perfumey, that's probably what he means by strong. And that's okay for him and okay for you guys. Not everything has to be for everyone, but more likely than not, stuff that is naturally pleasant to most noses is of course what's going to be sold. Fragrance companies are going to make stuff that people actually want. They're just basically trying to answer market demand. And speaking of market demand, if you also want to smell like Fetty Wap here, of course it won't be cheap, with this being again a Kurkdjian null. So Hedonistic retails for a whopping $580 US for a 50 ml. Now thankfully there is gray market recourse if you would like, as Hedonistic currently relists on the gray market for around $340 on a site like FragranceNet at the time of this video. Again, still not cheap, but for a scent as unique, as wearable, and as awesome as this, even I might be buying a bottle of this ASAP. I just love that syrupy dark cherry here in Jump Up and Kiss Me Hedonistic, a nice ensemble of warm other masculine notes. But yeah, I love this stuff, and so does Fetty too here, so thank you for sharing it today with the class.
Ombre and Nomade. I only started using aftershave like 2-3 years ago. Before I used to just shower and just, you know, feel fresh.
Next up, we have certified platinum rapper and recording artist Fredo with his 100 ml Louis Vuitton Ombre Nomade meaning nomadic shadow in French, so I think that's badass. And with a name hinting at darker, more enveloping themes, this scent really travels with you. More on that in a bit.
I remember one time we went to Costa Rica and shot a video with Mist. He come in the car and I thought, yo, this shit smells rich. So I thought to myself, I want to try that.
Now I know more of the hardcore fragrance watcher, maybe you, who is watching this video, isn't always the type of person to do this, but I'll be honest, I am, or at least I would contemplate this. And that's simply wanting or buying based on how something smells on other people. Like the aforementioned client at work who wears the aforementioned Clive Jump Up and Kiss Me Hedonistic. I can't see myself not digging that stuff off of me. I think it's that sexy. I think it's that legit. But when it comes to Ombre Nomade here and how Fredo feels about this scent, unlike him, for me, it's one of those good from a distance type of scents. Like, I think it smells darn good for a Western oud, but it's one that I don't want emitting off of my personal space. Don't crucify me, of course, I'm not usually an oud guy, but don't worry, I still feel really strongly about this scent altogether. For a Western oud rose, I think this is as good as it gets. You got a nice hint of raspberry right there as well. It kind of brings out the jamminess of the rose here to offset the bitterness of everything else in the scent, so you kind of have the best of both worlds here. Throw in some other bitter notes, throw in some smokiness, and even an animalistic quality at play here. This thing in Ombre Nomade is very nice, very balanced, but very big. Nothing though sticks out in a screechy way.
I went through a couple, but this is the one I like the most. It's Louis Vuitton, and it's like a oud kind of fragrance. More like an Arab incense kind of smell than like a perfumey kind of smell.
Well, Fredo knows what's up. Pretty much how I described the scent just now verbatim. Ombre Nomade is definitely not perfumey. Perfumey is definitely how you would describe something that is floral, aromatic, aldehydic as well. You know, typically effeminate. This would be like the antithesis of that. You know, something being very dark and very oudy yet again. And again, overall, if you want a very wearable option of a type of scent like this, if you want to smell like Fredo, this once limited edition, now general release by Louis Vuitton in Ombre Nomade, you can now cop at $410 USD retail. And that is of course without the reliable gray market options that you usually have when not buying something from Louis Vuitton. But with Louis Vuitton, you're dealing with those really tight official distribution lines of LVMH. So definitely only consider this fragrance if you are truly an oud lover and would actually get your money's worth out of it. But thank you nonetheless to Fredo for sharing it with the class today. Again, that is Ombre Nomade.
You always gotta smell good. Gucci guilty, you can't go wrong, you know what I'm saying?
Next up, we have platinum certified rapper and recording artist Pardison Fontaine with his 90 ml Gucci Guilty Pour Homme Eau de Toilette. Very popular in the wild and notoriously mid and or generic in the online fragrance community. But say what you will about it, no one can doubt its compliment factor as it still sells a ton today. Lots of lemon, lots of lavender, so very citrusy and aromatic, but in a more yummy masculine way. Trust me, if you're already a presentable and approachable guy, you spray this stuff on, girls will want to eat you.
You walk past a woman, who that? You know what I'm saying? They say smell or scent is like the most tied thing to memory. So if you smell good, they ain't never gonna forget you like.
Where's the cap here? Party is definitely correct in describing scents or smells and being aggressively tied to memories. Smell is perhaps the most primal of the senses, so conjuring up very positive or very negative type of emotions is not uncommon. To a certain extent, I like looking back at some of my scents on my fragrance shelf and just seeing the emotional roller coaster I've been on with some of them. So yeah, it's just a nice way of remembering where you were throughout your trials and tribulations of life.
First time I got it, it was a gift for my birthday, as a matter of fact. I wore it, and I knew it was a wrap. Ladies, you trying to get your man something, smell good. You want your man to smell like Pardison Fontaine. He can't be Pardison Fontaine, but at least he could try to smell like him.
Now I know it might be haram for me to say in the fragrance community because I feel like to a certain extent I'm supposed to recommend more unique stuff to everyone watching, but again, not everyone is a more hardcore fringe user of fragrance like some of you and or myself. So I'd rather you play it safe in gifting stuff like this if you insist on buying someone a frag and you don't already know what they like. Although there is definitely better nowadays as far as other safe scents go if you want to go the blue route, for example.
I got an older brother, so he always had this, you know what I'm saying? I used to sneak in his room and steal them before I go to school. I always knew it was a must from him. The smelling good was always a thing of mine. Always had to.
Again, I always found it cute how some of these celebs are very nostalgic about how they got into scents in the first place. We all had to start somewhere, so always reminisce positively of your OGs if you can, and yeah, just be grateful for them. And if you too want to smell like Pardison Fontaine here, a 90 ml bottle like this currently retails for 120 USD. That being said, you can still get a tester version of it on the gray market like on Fragrance Buy for just under 65 US dollars currently, so don't pay retail on the scent like this if you can avoid it. And yeah, I think that about does it for Party here, so thank you for sharing with the class.
Are we talking about not smelling, man? I ain't gonna lie, I be using a lot of cologne. Like, I like to walk in, it's part of my outfit. Like, cologne, you gotta look good, smell good, you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So.
And last but not least here, we have platinum selling rap duo Rae Sremmurd, or more specifically Sway Lee here, with his 70 ml Maison Francis Kurkdjian Grand Soir that he's trying to hide, which I get because he wants to gatekeep this great scent. Grand Soir translates to great evening, and trust me, you'll definitely have a great evening if you spray the scent. It's an absolute banger when it comes to a luxurious, delectable amber fragrance. So I love this stuff. You also have other rich resinous notes like benzoin and labdanum here to add to that, as well as some cinnamon and vanilla adding to how tasty the scent can be. Just overall very welcoming stuff altogether, and I also agree with Sway's sentiments here too about being all of the above. Got to look good, feel good, and smell good, always.
I put this on, like, everywhere, just be, you know what I'm saying, smelling loud. I get a lot of compliments on the way I smell, like.
Sway, what are you doing? Like, I do know that there are thicker performing amber scents out there, but trust me, Grand Soir is no slouch at all. And also, trust me, I'm a big believer in compliments being a morale boost, and I think pursuing them is not noble, but I honestly think that compliments are easier to pursue when you're not offending everyone who might be scent sensitive. So for a scent like this, I'd be a little bit more conservative, especially when I don't have Sway Lee money, so I can't just casually spam it just like he does here, like it's Axe or something.
A person will remember you more on the way you smell than how you look, you feel me? So you can leave more of an impact on a person, like scientific fact, like.
Now sure, smells and scent is a triggering sense, but for me it's merely a cherry on top. You don't need it to be charismatic and or presentable, you can just be yourself. Just work for a nice physique, have hygiene, have nice fitting attire, and hopefully a good personality to boot. But if you have all of those things checked off, yes, then you can worry about your scent a little bit more obsessively. Because at this point, you're not leaving anything else for you to be desired by someone. So for the right occasion, choose the right scent and the right amount. So trust me, people of interest like Sway Lee, who others are naturally trying to please already, would have complimented him with 2 sprays, let alone a dozen if they were in his personal space with a scent like Grand Soir. I am 1000% certain that is the case for artists like him and not people who are more regular like you and I. Like, these guys are spending a lot of time out at the game or at the club or in the recording studio, perhaps partying, and if you're not that, then I probably wouldn't have that kind of lifestyle with scent. Sorry. But I digress now. If you want to smell like Sway Lee, hopefully in doses, MFK Grand Soir and 70 mls currently retails for 240 USD, which I actually think is pretty good value for money considering the quality of that scent. Not to mention it currently lists for just under 290 USD on the gray market like on FragranceNet, so it's one of those in-demand scents from an in-demand brand that online retail or brick and mortar is just the most cost-effective play here. So I hope that helps, and shout outs to Sway Lee of Rae Sremmurd for sharing with the class. And there it is, guys. Thanks for sticking around this long if you are still here. But it's at that point of the video where I want to know what you think again. Got a favorite rapper here or fragrance, perhaps a take of theirs that you really liked? Let me know in the comments section below. That being said, also subscribe if you have yet to as well. We're on the train to 40,000 subscribers. It'll be a lot more fun if you hopped on, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss uploads like this and others going forward in the near future. Until the next time though, thank you for the ongoing support. Take care for now. Peace out. Bye. My name is Manny. Wear your fragrances.